I'm Mrs. Freeman, and I am a 5th grade teacher at Center Grove Elementary School, and we're going to talk about measurement conversions and geometry formulas today. So we're going to start with the area of a square or a rectangle. And the area of a square or a rectangle is A equals length times width. And when you have two letters that are right next to each other, that means that you're going to multiply those two numbers. And again, that's for a rectangle or a square. Okay, and then we have the area of a triangle. For area of a triangle, A equals 1/2 base times height. And instead of multiplying times 1/2, you can actually divide the base by 2 instead. So you would have base divided by 2 times the height. And on a triangle, we actually don't use the sides unless it is a right triangle, because our height always goes straight up and down. So our height in our triangle is from tip top to bottom, or tip top to bottom, depending on the type of triangle. After area of a triangle, we have area of a parallelogram, and that formula is base times height. And a parallelogram looks like that. And the height, again, goes straight up and down, so we don't use either of the sides for area of a parallelogram. The last formula is area of a trapezoid, and that formula is 1/2 height base 1 plus base 2. But you can think of it as height divided by 2 times base 1 plus base 2, instead of multiplying times a fraction. And the trapezoid looks like this. And the height, again, goes from top to bottom, straight up and down. This is base 1 or base 2, and this is base 1 or base 2. They can be used interchangeably as long as you use the top and the bottom. Okay, so the last formula we have is volume of a rectangular prism. And volume for that equals length times width times height. So again, with them being right next to each other, it means you're going to multiply them. And length always goes side to side. Width always goes back diagonal, and the height always goes straight up and down. So on this example, the length is right here at the bottom, the width is here, and the height is here. The opposite sides are also the same thing. And then lastly, we have measurement conversions. So for measurement conversions, we use a couple acronyms. And one of them is Best Soccer Moms. And that means that if we have a big unit that we're changing to a small unit, we are going to multiply. We're going to do a small unit to a big unit, and we're going to divide. So silly babies dancing. So small to big, we're going to divide. And so an example of this would be if we were doing feet to inches, we're going to need to multiply. So for 3 feet equals how many inches, we know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So we're going to multiply 3 times 12, which gives us 36 inches in 3 feet. Okay, so we had 36 inches equals 3 feet. Then if we were doing the opposite, if we want to know how many feet are in 36 inches, we again know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So we would take 36 divided by 12, which would give us 3 feet equals 36 inches. That's for standard units of measure. If we wanted to do metric units of measure, we would think of King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. And this one is actually a lowercase d. And each one of these stands for a different metric prefix. So this is kilometers, kilo, hecto, deca, base. So this would be like meters. And then deci, centi, and milli. And you would just move your decimal whichever direction you're going. So if you started at centimeters and you wanted to go to decimeters, you would move it 1, 2, 3 places to the left.